want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Gunny? What do you think of the accordion player, Gunny? You like that guy?
I love the accordion. I love it. Every time I hear it, it literally just like automatically reminds me like, boom, GreenBean's about to come on. Right? It's a nice touch. It's personal to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of wish I knew how to play the accordion. Very interesting instrument. Interesting instrument.
What it is, if it's fascinating. It's a piano, it's buttons, it's a bridge. Yes. You got to squeeze it. There's a whole thing going on with the accordion. You know what's funny? I stumbled on that guy years ago. Like it's got to be 3 years ago now. And I just look at this guy, and I watched his page for a minute, and he did the Jets thing, and I'm like, holy cow! And I just reached out and said, hey man, can I use your thing for Jets channel? He's like, yeah. But I've written on his channel since, like, never a reply, nothing.
Really? So I thought that was somebody you knew.
No, I don't know that guy from Adam.
Oh,
I feel like I do. He's one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world. That guy, I love him.
God.
You know, every time it comes on, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy. I love this guy. I'd love to have him on one day. I really would. I would love to have him on. We got to do like a little blast over there and give his channel a bunch of likes and followers and stuff. We got to do that.
Where your head's at. I like where your head's at. Definitely.
Right. But there we are. So it's the Thursday thick of it here, Gunny. We're in the middle of the off season, and the Jets. We know how to stay in the damn news, don't we? We just don't go away, which is good for us. I'm psyched about it. I'm happy to have. My wife asked me, she goes, you got anything going on tonight? I'm like, oh yeah, huge news. She's like, really? I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, we got injury news. We have weird speculation that seems to be picking up pace. We have reason to believe things might be moving in a certain direction, which my hue tonight would lead you to some of the conclusions that we might be drawing. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Gunny, I'm happy to be here with you, my friend. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, GreenBean. You and I both know this is my favorite part of the week. I actually get to sit back a little bit, just chill, talk just with you. My Thursday night special, and then tomorrow I get to work from home. So it's like a win-win situation for me. My weekend pretty much usually starts after the GreenBean show. So it's one of those things that I think of it as kind of a marker for me every single week. I look forward to it each and every time.
Well, I look forward to it as well. It's tough, man, because I have to take a nap before this. You know what I mean? As I've said before.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a weird thing. Like right before the show, I think to myself, maybe like 6:30, I go, I need to cancel this show. Like, because I'm sleeping. You know what I mean? It's like that. I'm gonna call in sick to work today. Like that's how I feel. But then I get moving a little bit, and I come in. I'm like, oh yeah, man, it's this. I love doing this. I love hanging out. I'm gonna say hello to some people in the chat. Finnegan started us up first. I want to let you know Finnegan is way up there in Iowa. He's up there with Iowan Jets fan. They're the only two Jets fans in the entire state, at least as far as we know, right? But Finnegan is a young man. He's in his early 20s, and he is just, dude, the guy comes out with news and like back scene stuff quicker than anybody else in the beanbag or Discord. I mean, he beats everybody. Even before I see it on Twitter, I see it from Finnegan. So
he's got a source.
He's got something going on.
He's got something going on.
He grew up with recent first round. I think it was a first round draft pick, maybe early second. Jack Campbell, the linebacker. Finnegan grew up with him.
Awesome.
They're very, very good friends. And he actually was invited to Jack's draft party.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if he went though. I forget to ask. I forget what he said. But Finnegan's my man. He's a good dude. Hawk is in here. A fungus among us made it back, and he says he reminds everybody about the good old-fashioned milk thumbs, which, by the way, guys, by the time the season starts, we will be having our own milk thumbs song. So it's almost done. I got to tell you guys, I'm happy. So we'll have milk thumb song, and then you guys can sing and dance and pour milk all over your thumbs. But what that means is don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. Give me those milk thumbs over there. And if you have not subscribed, it's greatly appreciated. If you're watching it on TV, I learned that you can subscribe on TV, Gunny. I thought that you weren't able to. But for all you TV folks, there's a way to subscribe. You got to move the cursor around a little bit.
Yeah.
You can do that. Our buddy Cy Thompson is back. Good to see you, man. He's doing the milk thumb thing too. We appreciate that. Always good to see Cy Thompson. Money Mitch is here. Oh, well, thank you. Bean is the best. Well, I appreciate that. Weed the People is here. K Yeti. Look at all these guys. This is the best, man. You guys are the best. Sluggo's back. I know, dude. We gotta just we gotta take it in stride, Sluggo. We gotta take it in slide. We still got time. Season start. The good news is in August we get 5, or it's 4 now, 4 preseason games because they knocked it down to 3, but an extra one nonetheless. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight too. Why not? Who else is here? Project Prospect with Dom C. He's out there. That's the new Project Prospect channel.
Dom C.
Got to be excited for that. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm
Dom
pumped.
C. We got Dom C is going to be all over the place this season. It's going to be amazing. Dom C, pretty soon we'll be asking Dom C if he has time to come on, and he'll be like, I can't do it. That's what he's going to say. He's going to be so busy.
I'm too busy.
He's going to be too busy, or his NFL
After
franchise.
people call my people, we'll see what we can do.
And he's going to end up working for the damn Patriots or something. And he's going to be like, I can't go on a Jets show, or he's going to do so. You'll see. Dom's going to be out there.
I hope Dom would never do that. Anybody but the Patriots. I hope Dom is loyal enough to the Jets that he would never put himself in that situation.
Oh, he's loyal, but you know how it goes, Gunny. You know what I mean? There's something walks and something talks out there, so you know how it is.
You're right. You're right.
Right. Mark Riz is here. It's good to see you, Mark. You jagaloon. There he is. Dark Soldier. Did I say that? No, Dark Soldier's back. Yo to you. Yeah, what's up? And Jets Forever's Green Heart is here. Hank is in the house. Mitt Flair and so many others. Squirmy Weasel and Matthias Simon and Jetsfan 69, the main catch. It's good to have all you guys here. We're excited to get started with you. Ron Weiss comes in with our first super chat of the night. Thank you, Ron. He says, this sucks. Bring on training camp. Let's go. Well, Ron, you're not happy with the rumor season, all this stuff. Well, it's not even rumor season, but we've kind of elongated it. Every free agent that's out there, anybody's cut, it's the Jets, right? That's it, the Jets. And we have reason to talk about this. And it's not just speculation at this point. We have some reasons to talk about it. And Ron, we can see what you think of this. We'll start with it. Why not, Gunny? We'll talk about this. So
yeah,
we have look, we've been talking about it for a little over a week, but Dalvin Cook has been cut from the purple wearing Minnesota Vikings, as you know, and he's out and about, and he's talking and he's visiting and he's liking stuff on social media. But recently, since we last talked, he followed the New York Post, Woody Johnson. But where it gets really interesting is Woody Johnson followed Dalvin Cook. Now, Woody Johnson, if I remember correctly, only follows like 75 people.
Yep.
And they're all related to the Jets. So as it stands, Dalvin Cook is the only person. Now, I could be off. I'm getting this from some people. I'm just buying it. But he would be the only non-Jet that Woody Johnson follows. So what do you make of that, Gunny? Like, what do you think it means?
I'll be honest, GreenBean. When this whole thing came about Dalvin Cook to the New York Jets, I really thought it was, like you said, the hyperbole of us seeing somebody get cut
Right.
who's been a star in the NFL, and we're like, they'd be great for the Jets, right? OBJ's available, great for the Jets. DeAndre Hopkins available, great for the Jets. Everybody who's been a star or accomplished anything in the league apparently is great for the Jets. So I wasn't taking it too seriously. Again, I felt pretty confident in what we currently have in the running back room, albeit we're still waiting on the whole Breece Hall situation. How's it going to be when he comes back? And I get that. It didn't really start to click for me until Coach Salas stated that, yeah, we're going to go ahead and you know what I'm saying, test the waters on Dalvin Cook, right? He was quick to say, nope, D-Hop, we're good. We are happy with our freaking wide receiver room, but stated he would test the waters with Dalvin Cook. I thought, okay, yeah, I get it. Due diligence makes sense. The pure fact that Dalvin Cook hasn't signed with the team yet leads me to believe there's significantly more validity to the fact that he might want to be a Jet, even though the Miami Dolphins, to me, was just the natural progression of where he should be headed, right? In terms of going back home. They run a zone rushing scheme, which fits his kind of play style. Like, I thought all those things came into play that it was just perfect for him. But now we've got him being asked questions about where he wants to go. And you're seeing, like you just said before, Woody Johnson following him now on social media, Dalvin Cook following him on social media, Dalvin Cook liking tweets about him associated with the New York Jets. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And I know I'm going to go ahead and temper expectations because Tyreek Hill took us for a loop last year a little bit, and there was a lot of smoke there that wound up being just us getting fire hosed in terms of, not getting him. So I'm still tempering expectations, but like, I don't know. After today's interview that he had, I kind of sit here and think to myself, okay, is he doing this to go ahead and bump his price up with Miami, or is there really legitimate like interest in playing for the New York Jets?
Well, so what did he say in that interview, though? He said specifically?
Yeah. So the interview was done, I think it was by the Miami Herald, actually was the one that brought him on. So initially it was all about the Miami Herald talking about him coming to Miami and, of course, him saying the right things, right? Hey, this is where I'm from, blah, blah, blah. They ran with that. But this is what I think caught me. And I quote, I'm going to read straight from the article. This isn't me just paraphrasing. Cook stated, when he was asked, what teams have you spoken to personally where you see that you could be a reality if you were to join that team? Cook's response was, a lot of people got me pegged going back home to the Dolphins. A lot of people got me going to the Jets. It's all over the place right now. But what's going to be important for me is just going to that right situation and helping somebody turn the page. I want to go out and be the piece that can just help somebody win and get over the hump and whatever that situation comes with. If it comes with me taking less reps, i.e. running back 2, Brees Hall being running back 1, but me being in the perfect situation to hold up that trophy, I don't mind. I just want to go somewhere I can just get the ball and just help somebody win and turn the next page. So that particular portion, when he was asked like what he thought about advice just being force-fed, the Miami Dolphins being an option by the Miami Herald, is where I got caught up like, wait a second. Is this him kind of like throwing out there that he's comfortable with being an RB2? Because on the Miami Dolphins, he's RB1. I don't think anybody's going to question that. On the Miami Dolphins, he's RB1.
Yeah.
For him to throw in that nugget in terms of when he said that he'd be willing to go ahead and help somebody turn the page and take less reps.
Less touches.
I was oh, okay, my guy. That's you sprinkling a little bit. That's different because if you're going to Miami, you're RB1. You come into the Jets, we think you're going to be RB2. I think Brees Hall at this stage of his career potentially has a higher ceiling. So that to me is when I was sitting here like, well, damn, is it possible that Dalvin Cook could be a Jet? And then I'm not sure if you saw him on his Instagram. So on his Instagram earlier today, he posted him walking through what looked like one Jets drive. On the back end of the story, he took a picture of himself, and it looks very familiar to many scenes we've seen watching one Jets drive. And it got put out by, I think it was by Cali Jets, posted it out there. And then you start putting two and two together. Like it looks like he was in at Jets facility, but didn't say anything about it specifically. Just kind of took that picture, nonchalant, and then he typed in 1%, which is unanimous with, of course, Coach Sala always saying doing that extra 1%, get 1% better to go ahead and every time you go ahead and show up. So that to me was just like, oh, son of a, okay, now I'm really, really intrigued. He's got me hooked a little bit as to what's going on. So what I once thought was potentially a pipe dream, Dalvin Cook being a New York Jet as running back 2, to me, I'm okay with that. Again, the price has to be right. It definitely has to be right. But, man, imagine having Dalvin Cook as running back 2 to Brees Hall. That could be a game changer for the New York Jets running game.
Yeah, that would be sick. But I mean, it's funny because I definitely I'm torn on this one. I have mixed feelings, right? But I will say this to start with this. I agree with you. Like, I think it's all lip service, right? It could be posturing, and he's out there. He's not going to, if he's smart, he's not going to say too many negative things about any of these teams that might be interested, right? He's going to be complimentary if he's smart. But when he said that about the touches, it raised my eye. I said, that's interesting, because he's letting the team know, like, look, I'm not saying that I got to come in here and be the guy. I understand, I'm at this point in my career, and then you might have another guy. Like, he's acknowledging that we have a young starter at the position. Now, I didn't see that Instagram thing. I'm looking. I don't see it, but if you could find it,
I'll forward it to you.
Send me the link, so I could put it up for everybody. I didn't see that. That's really interesting. I would like to see that and see if it's real. But so here's where my mixed feelings come in. I mean, obviously, like, I don't want to add Dalvin Cook as the running back one. I just don't. I mean, there's lots of reasons for that. I like Brees. I like a lot of the guys. But like, if he comes in, somebody's got to go. I mean, we have 4 running backs right now. Somebody's going to get pushed off, in my opinion. We just drafted Izzy, so it's unlikely that. Jeremy just sent me something. Oh, so did you? Look at all you guys. Dom Kutri, all you guys are sending shit. Dom's in there. Dom's just like, I want in. Let me see what these guys are saying. Okay, 1%. All right.
It looks like it's inside one Jets drive.
It does look like it. All right, I'm gonna show you guys this picture. But so just to finish my point before I do, obviously you're not going to compare at this point Izzy or Bam Knight or even Michael Carter, for that matter, to Dalvin Cook, right? We're just not going to do that. At the same time, I do like keeping the gang together. Like, we have young guys. Like, they're probably not. They didn't show everything they have yet. Like, we have a premier level starter. Michael Carter is also a very good back. I know he kind of fell off the second half of the season last year. I get it. At the same time, he had a really good rookie year. He had a very strong first half of the season. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know, just bringing in this big name guy. And like, I get it. And I'm not going to complain about it, because we already know what Dalvin Cook can do in the NFL. And the other guys are somewhat of question marks, Bam Knight and Izzy in particular. But it's like, do we want to give up on these young guys for a guy who's kind of, he's on the back end? I mean, running backs don't last that long, and he's already sliding a little bit. There's all 100%. Sorts of metrics out there that say that, he compiled some stats, but when you look at where he, really should have been, he was rated very, very low as far as running backs in the NFL for numerous reasons. And like, do you want to take a Bam Knight off your roster? Do you want to, give up on a draft pick in Izzy? Do you want to throw Michael Carter to the side, to bring him on? I don't know. I like I said, I'm torn on that. I really like our stable of running backs. So let's see, guys. I'm going to show you all this in the chat here and in the YouTubeverse. Let me see where it is. There it is. Is that it? Is that the? Why does it look like that? Hold on a second. That shouldn't look like that. Where's my window? Hold on. I don't know why it's not giving me my window here, Gunny. Is that it? No, that's Instagram. All right, let's try this. Let's see what this looks like. Is that it? No. See? All right, let me blow this up. I have the window open, but let me just get this. Can you guys see it big yet? No, I don't want to do that.
No. It looks...
All right, let me shut all these other windows down. That might be what's going on here. Hold on. Hold on. There it is. All right, guys. So what do you think? Let's talk about it in the chat. I see Dano's got a super. I'll get right to you, Dano. But what do you guys think of this? I'm going to scroll down to the bottom real quick. I'm going to put a poll in there. I'm going to put a poll in the chat here. What is that? No, it's not what I want at all. Holy shit, man. Okay. Let me do this. Here's a poll. Okay. Is the pick of Cook at 1 Jets drive?
This is where we need one of those geolocation individuals, right. The guy who predicted the Jet season. We need to get him on the phone. hey, where is this at? So he can break it down for us.
Okay. So look, the poll is up there. Let us know what you think. Is this at one Jets Drive? If you imagine for a second, when we see the inside of the practice facility, it does look just like that, Gunny. Let me get a picture of one Jets Drive here. Hold on. We'll see what one Jets Drive practice. Let's see. Let me get some images here. Indoor. Let me do that. Okay. All right. Let me see if this is a good picture. All right, here we go. All right, I'll bring the picture back up. We're going to do some detective work right here. Now you see the white back here, right? You see the white over here. Can you guys see my mouse? I don't think you can. All right, you see the white, and then you see the silver and everything. I don't know, Gunny. I'm seeing it looks a little different. All right, let me shut this down, and I'm going to show you another picture here of the inside of the practice facility. This is the interior of the practice facility. You notice something different, Gunny?
Yeah, that's different.
All right.
Yeah, but I want to see the stairwell.
I know, right?
Can we find the stairwell?
All right. Well, what's going on here? I don't know. Do you see any silver bars? Silver handrails?
I don't see any.
More projects. All right. What is this? Hold on. Oh, what's this? Is that silver? That's the Raiders. Oh no, he's at the Raiders.
He's at the Raiders facility.
I don't want that. Let me see. Hold on. Let's look here. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me know in the poll what you think. I'll bring the picture back up real quick. See what we think here. Is Dalvin Cook at one Jets Drive? He said 1%. Now wait, what is Robert Saleh saying though? He says when you give.
He says every day you come here, try to get 1% better. Just get 1% better.
Okay.
Every single time you show up. So that's one of his things that he says. And he put the 1%, and I'm like,
1% okay. Better, right? Okay. 1% better. He also, what's that other thing he said? When you give 100%, you still have 40% or some shit. What did he say? Remember?
When you think you're giving 100%, you still have 40% more to give. And he quoted a Navy SEALs training guide on how whenever you think you're at 100%, you really still have 40% more to give. You're really just at like 60%. I've never read the Navy SEALs training guide, so. But it does sound like some shit you would hear from the Navy SEALs. I will admit that.
And here I am again with my mind frying out. I listen to this guy all the time. But what's that guy's name? He's an animal, man. He's on Rogan and shit all the time.
Oh.
I want to say Dobbins, but it's not. It's the hell's his name?
I think it is Dobbins. Isn't that Dobbins?
No. Let me see here. Let me see. Goggins. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. All I was like, that sounds about right.
That's like some Goggins shit. When you're giving 100%, you still got 40%. He says that, he's like, you go as hard as you can. You go all day, give it everything you got. And that's where I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started, man. So I was like, that guy's an animal.
He's built different.
Yeah, he is, man. He went through Hell Night, Hell Weekend, whatever, Hell Week 3 times.
3 times.
What the fuck is wrong?
They tried to do surgery on his ACLs, and apparently he broke the scalpel because of how much calcium had been built over his ACLs, protected it. That dude is he's a cyborg. He's not human. He's a freaking cyborg.
Oh, that's funny. Dano checking in. He says 81 days, brethren. Cue the Jay McCarron's pylon pick. The McCarron's. Wow, man. McCarron's pylon pick. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is a good one. I like this pick. But this is the one. This is a Getty image. I'm going to get in trouble now, but we'll show you the pick for Dano. Here's what he's talking about here. There it is. Justin McCarron's. Remember that guy? Justin McCarron's, man. Came from the Tennessee Titans, number 81. There it is. That's a good pick.
Cold. Now that's a Jet right there. That's what a Jet looks like coming in for the attack.
It's called not being denied. Right. Not being denied right there. So, okay. Jeremy's got an interesting pick here. Oh, Jeremy's got an interesting pick.
Man, he's the dude. He's already been scouring the internet looking for a comparison.
All right, here we go. Look at this pick, everybody. Now you see if Dalvin Cook is at the Jets facility. What do you think of that, Gunny?
Yeah, no, that's not the same spot.
Maybe not the same spot, but you can see the same style. The styles.
Yeah, the same style. But if I'm looking at this wall over here, that's on this side. There was no writing in the Dalvin Cook picture.
There was no writing. That would have gave it away. And it also was a recess, so it looked like some sort of metal wall. It looked like he was in like some sort of like of a shed kind of a thing. Like, so it looked like a metal wall behind the walkway. But,
I just looked at the little mini video. I don't know. The ceiling is different. Nah, he's not at One Jets Drive. If that's the practice facility. So in the video of it on his story on his Instagram, the ceiling has like wood planks or something. That looks like it's just like white sheetrock.
All right. So let me see what let me see
the whole video.
Let me see. My wife is asking me for a tarp, so it makes me feel like there's an emergency. Do we have a tarp? Like the tarp's over something.
Uh-oh.
So there's a big leak in the roof of the RV. Okay. That's not good. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. The only tarp is over the lawnmower. Okay. All right. Back to Jets football. All right, let's see what's going on.
I'm gonna send you a new video. This is the video of, so you can go ahead and see if you can share that, because it's literally the video on his story. Yeah, it's not the same building, because if you look at the video and he actually shows the ceiling of where he's at, and it's like wood planks or something like that. So it differs from what Jeremy just found at the facility.
All right, hold on.
There it is. Debunked.
All right, let's see what we got. What the hell just happened to it? All right, hold on. There it is. So that's a video, right? Let me see. Let me make sure here. Okay. All right. Let me share this with you guys. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out tonight. Oh wait, that's not it. Hold on. Is that it? Can you see this? Hold on. What the fuck is wrong with this thing tonight? Hold on. It's like, it's weird. It's like choosing the wrong window. It's weird. It's being weird with me tonight.
It's glitching.
It is. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. We got wood panel. Yeah. No way.
Yep. It's not the same building.
Nope. There's no wood panel at One Jets. At least, I mean.
Oh my God. He's in Miami.
That looks like Miami. Right. We should look at the inside of Miami's
training facility.
Uh-huh. So what do we think? I'm going to go to the poll. We'll take a look at this poll right now, and then I see a couple more super chats in there. Thank you. Let's see. The poll is pretty definitive here, Gunny. 66 say he's not at One Jets Drive. That includes you and myself. Jeremy, what do you think? Nod your head. You think he's at One Jets Drive? No. So 33% said yes. 66 said no. And all right, listen, it's gonna be weird right now, but I can't leave my wife out there to fix the roof. So I'm gonna bring Jeremy on real quick. You guys can chat and I'll be back in just a few minutes. I can't. My
understood.
conscience is, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I got you.
I feel like I should be out there. So Jeremy, you want to come on real quick? All right, here we go. So I'll be right back, everybody. I'll leave my studio on. So if anybody comes on and says, "Who the hell? I don't want to see Jeremy," then they'll know at least I'm here. Jeremy, no meat pie fucking stories, all right, man? Just get right to it. All right.
That's a Zoom call. That has nothing to do with YouTube.
Here's Dom C's here. I'll hold on, let me get this off. So Dom C, thank you for the super chat, buddy. And thanks for chiming in with the Dalvin Cook thing. I'll be right back, guys.
Roger that. Yeah, I mean, personally, I put it in the chat. I don't think Dalvin Cook is a New York Jet. Just for the record, I don't think he becomes a New York Jet. It's exciting to talk about, but I do feel a lot of this is posturing, right, in terms of trying to get the Dolphins to bump their number up. A lot of it just makes too much sense in terms of him going back home. You know what I'm saying? He gets to go ahead and get that wonderful tax break. And I refuse to get got like Tyreek Hill got us last year. So for me, I don't think he's a Jet. And in all actuality, I'm 100% okay with that. I like our running back room. Dom makes a very interesting point here, man, talking about Bam Knight being the odd man out. Wow. I mean, so I got to ask, Jeremy, I wonder if Dom means like even if we don't, well, he said right there, with or without Dalvin Cook, it's not 100% on the team. That is very deep. So we would carry what? 3 running backs? 4 running backs?
Well, I mean, it depends what they're going to do with this fullback, right? Are they going to go with a fullback? And, you know, you got a deep tight end room, so we got the same situation going on there.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't, they're not going to keep 4 tight ends, but they're going to keep 3. We know that for a fact that there's going to be at least 3. Right. So if they go fullback, then, 3 running backs and a fullback, and then somebody on the practice squad, right?
Yeah. I mean, somebody said something very interesting about letting Bam, just releasing him and then putting him on the practice squad. I don't know, man. I think Bam did enough last year to where it would warrant interest from other teams. I don't know if we're able to go ahead and pull that off twice. People got to see tape on him, and they understood that, you know what I'm saying, his play just got a little bit hampered by a demolished offensive line. So I don't know if we can go ahead and get away with that again this season and trying to stash him on a practice squad. What do you think?
Oh, 100%. I think if somebody has one injury, and we know there will be with 32 teams, there's going to be a team that loses a running back.
Yep.
And now you have a running back that's already in his career run over 100 yards in a game with a very average beat up offensive line, and only faltered when the offensive line, they lost AVT. They got so decimated, and people, the other teams started stacking 8-9 guys in the box. So
yep.
I think a lot of teams are going to realize that and say, look what this kid did. And if you look at his tape in his first few games, one cut, go, power, powerful runner. He looked great.
I get the hype about Dalvin Cook because he's a big name, right? And I know a lot of Jets fans just want star power. They're just like, yeah, put as many star players that you can put on this team. Let's just go all in for it. But the analytics say that Dalvin Cook took a huge step backwards last season. And I know it's weird to say that when you talk about somebody who ran for 1,200 yards and had, I think, was it 8+ touchdowns. But the fact of the matter is, in terms of analytics, a lot of those yards – when you base the fact that the open holes he had access to based off of the offensive line play, he should have had 1,500, 1,600 yards rushing if he was the Dalvin Cook of old. Now, granted, he talked about how his shoulder was an issue and it caused him to think twice, and that's why you saw a bit of a hamper in his play. But how do you feel about the Dalvin Cook situation? Do you want him to be a Jet? I mean, do you not care? Like, how do you feel about it?
Well, I don't think he's at the level of Breece Hall. I think just and maybe I'm high on Breece Hall. I am. From what I saw in Breece Hall before the injury, if that's the Breece Hall we're talking about, if you look at Cook's numbers, it's They're not bad. He's very consistent. He's a very solid running back. He had one amazing year. The other years were very consistent, but they were 1,100 yards. This isn't a guy who was rushing for 14 to 1,600 yards and catching, 400 to 600 yards receive. He's not like a Superman elite running back. He's a solid, strong running back that's dangerous. He's explosive. But on the other side of the other hand, he's experienced. He's a veteran, and I don't think as long as Breece Hall's healthy, we're not asking the same of him as he's been asked for the Minnesota Vikings. True. We're not asking him to be a number one receiver. We're running back. We're asking him to be a really solid veteran guy that if Breece Hall is not 100%, can carry the load, and we know what he can do.
So in my opinion, that I 1,000% agree with you, right? I think as a running back too, Dalvin Cook could be deemed an elite running back, as a running back too, elite RB2, right? I think he's a good RB1 at this stage of his career. But then I got to ask this question: how much do you think the injury to Mike Carter last season, the offensive line play, had to do with his poor performance? Because I was a fan of Michael Carter being running back 1 last year before we brought in Breece Hall. I thought we had RB1 on the board. I didn't see us going into the draft and getting a running back. Am I mad about it? Not at all. But it wasn't one of those things where I felt the Jets had the need at, because Michael Carter had a really good rookie season. I like Michael Carter, and I'm kind of with GreenBean in terms of we got a youth movement at the running back position, which is the position that requires the most youth in order for those guys to be effective. Easy position that translates into the NFL. You know what I'm saying? We got Izzy right now as running back 3 potentially on the roster with home run capability. Like, how do you feel about the running back room in general? Because personally, I think we got a good one. I think Breece Hall doesn't need to be rushed out week 1, week 2, but you get him ready by, going into that week 3, week 4 game. He's feeling good about himself, feeling more confident about his knee. I feel good about our running back room. Maybe it's just a homer in me, but I want to see Michael Carter healthy behind an offensive line that's healthy. I want to see what Izzy can really do, because we drafted this kid that was a home run hitter in the draft, arguably the number 2 running back in the entire draft. So I'm intrigued about what we're going to see from that room. But again, you got Aaron Rodgers for a small window. We got him for 2-3 years max. You're going all in to win a championship. So when it comes to the running back room, how do you feel about it? How secure do you feel about what we can accomplish?
I like it with or without Dalvin Cook. Look, I really encourage people, because I'm really freaking bored, with offseason, right? With the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I have the NFL channel, and that's a dangerous thing, because suddenly they show Jet games now. And if you look at Michael Carter's first year, he had a very encouraging first year. We were saying he could possibly be a top 12 running back in the NFL, like a better than average running back in the NFL. And we were really happy about that. 4th round pick. And that was just based on his rookie year. Who knows what his ceiling is? If you rewatch some of the games from last year, the first 8 games, the first game against Buffalo, and look at the touches he got and watch him play. People are forgetting he didn't have a horrible year the whole year. He was fine the first half of the season. He was fine. Yep. Don't forget, we were 6 tackles deep. Our offensive line was in shambles. And then that last part of the season, after that New England game, every team that we played those last 6 games had 9 guys in the box. They were basically saying, dare your quarterback to beat us. And while I'm not saying, I think that the reality is that we have to understand about a guy like Michael Carter and most good running backs, not top 3 elite running backs, is that they, with the exception of 3 or 4 guys, every running back is as good as their offensive line. You know what I mean? So their offensive line is good, they're good. But if their offensive line is not protecting them and the other team stacking the box, there's only a few guys that can overcome that. And it looked like Breece Hall was one of those guys.
I was about to say, Breece Hall was one of those dudes last year.
Michael Carter's simply not one of those dudes, but there's very few that are. So we even saw what happened to the Indianapolis Colts running back, Jonathan Taylor, right after this amazing season. Their offensive line didn't keep going. What happened to him?
Nothing. Fell off a cliff.
So you're
cost me 2 fantasy leagues.
Right. So people ask me, how do I feel about our running back room? I feel fine about our running back room. I'm more concerned about how do I feel about the offensive line room. That's the room we have to worry about. If that room is healthy, if Becton comes back and plays against the run like he did his rookie year, if Tomlinson plays better and has a comeback year, now we're talking, right? Because that's what's going to make our running game take off.
I'm right there with you, and I think there's this like everybody's on this like get D-Hop, get Dalvin Cook, based off of we play too much Madden. I think Madden has kind of like washed away what a good football team looks like, right? There's only 2 NFL teams in the NFL that has 2 number 1 wide receivers, right? It's going to be freaking the Miami Dolphins and the Philadelphia Eagles. And dare I say, maybe you would go ahead and say the Bengals. No other team has 2 legitimate number 1 wide receivers that's going to go ahead and get you 1,000 yards per. It's not needed. Look what the Kansas City Chiefs did last year to win the Super Bowl. So every time somebody says like, nah, we need to stack all these weapons, like there's only one football to go around. Like not everybody's there's one football per snap. It's not like there's going to be freaking 3-4 balls around. Dalvin Cook can go ahead and get a snap. Breece Hall can get a snap. Like it's not how it works. So for me, every time I hear like people talking about, oh man, yeah, we need D-Hop, we need freaking Dalvin Cook, or our running back room is not finished, or our wide receiver room is not finished. What are you talking about? The last time freaking a guy like let me rephrase, Corey Davis, case in point, right? This is an 800, 900 yard wide receiver. We've seen him do it in Tennessee when he had a competent quarterback. He now has Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. People are like, oh, he's trash. Really? Was he trash when he was in Tennessee? When we brought him on, we felt really good about bringing him on. The guy had competent quarterback play, and he looked good under a incompetent OC and unfortunately a quarterback that looks like he may be a bust. We saw him be mediocre and still put up decent numbers despite the fact. You're bringing in also a guy like freaking Allen Lazard, who was a wide receiver 1 last year, who's really a wide receiver 2, who I would say is wide receiver 3 on the Jets. Because I think Corey Davis is wide receiver 2. He's wide receiver 3 on the Jets. Mecole Hardman was a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 4 on the Jets. Like people crack me up, man, because I sit here and I'm like, I don't understand. This wide receiver room got so much better this offseason, ridiculously better. I'm with you, man. Offensive line, linebacker. I'd be ecstatic to bring back a guy like Quan. I think the loss of Clark sucks a little bit. That hurts. The positions I think we need to focus on is offensive line needs to stay healthy. I know we've got a lot of bodies there, and it's all about getting to training camp and getting to the season. Want to see these guys play at full potential. But it still scares me because health is a huge concern. And I would like to believe that Laken Tomlinson last year didn't forget how to play football, just had a bad year. He makes a comeback. But in terms of when you look at this roster, the only spots where I look at and I'm like, man, it's safety and linebacker. That's it. Safety and linebacker. This roster is built different. And with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, everything you guys have seen in regards to what this team has accomplished gets elevated to another level. The defense gets better. The wide receivers get better. The running backs get better by adding Aaron Rodgers. So for me, I'm 100% on board with what we currently have. Let's get Quan into the building. That would make me happy. Let's get Quinnen Williams, you know what I'm saying, restructured and signed. Get freaking Aaron Rodgers restructured because $104 million on the cap as a cap hit next year is kind of intimidating. And I think we're good to go. I think get everybody healthy going into the season. But again, this isn't Madden. And I think a lot of people think this is Madden where they need big name individuals to feel more confident as to what we have. But in all actuality, we got Aaron Rodgers, the most important position in all of sports. We've got one of the top 5 guy at that position for the Jets. We good. In the words of Aaron Rodgers, man, relax. Relax. Aaron Rodgers is on this roster. We're going to see a different level of play from the current playmakers we have on this team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, no team. Yeah, you can't expect it to be an all-star team. You know, I mean, we had Buffalo Bills at the end of last year starting Van Roten at center, right? Van Roten, our guy that we hated, wasn't he? He was starting center the last bunch of games for Buffalo for some games there because of their injuries. So that was their depth. Their depth was they had to stick Van Roten at center. You're not going to have all-stars or all pros at every position. It's just not going to happen. And we talk about the wide receiver room. I think people are looking, the 1-2 punch. It's not. There's different ways to skin a cat. Our way is we have our true number 1, and we have 3 very solid role-playing wide receivers that complement this offense and each other really well.
Yep.
Right? You got your Garrett Wilson, your true number 1 who's going to break out. You have your 2 big body guys. One, the quarterback is already very comfortable with. Corey Davis has a much better chance of staying healthy now because there won't be as much expectation on him as far as playing time because there's so many more guys now in the room. And then you have a Hardman who plays his role beautifully. He's a big upgrade from Barrios in the way we use them, right? For sweeps and things like that. And he really is going to keep the defense honest because if you play in and let this guy get behind you, it's a touchdown, especially with Aaron throwing the ball.
Facts.
Right. So
Facts.
And then you talk about the weapons of, Conklin, Conklin with a real quarterback. The guy could move out and play slot. We saw the tape from Minnesota. I mean, he's super talented as a receiver if he's utilized correctly. I'm excited. I think we have enough weapons, and I think I agree with you with safety. Safety is my biggest concern. The way I read the Quan Alexander situation is they must really, really be all in on Sherwood. Like they must really believe in Sherwood.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing. Which I mean, I'm not a coach. You know what I'm saying? I never played in the NFL or coached in the NFL, so you got to trust the coaches in that aspect, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think right now Coach Saleh has earned our benefit of a doubt. But man, I don't know, unless he's lighting it up that much to where they're confident that he can go ahead and step in, especially be effective in the run game. I don't know, Quan to me. I think Quan ultimately becomes a Jet. I think right now the biggest concern is that number he's looking for. He's not trying to pay for the veterans minimum like he did last year. So I think we're going to find a median to where we possibly bring him in if no teams are showing interest, especially since he's been literally adamant and vocal about how much he wants to be a Jet. It just makes too much sense. You know what I'm saying? You shore up that linebacker room by adding Quan. No hurt, no harm, no foul. And at safety, you brought in Amos. You really can't do much more. There's not any other talent out there really that I think you could go ahead and supplement or replace him with. Yeah, man. I don't know. I know some people are going to disagree, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, this roster is pretty complete. You know what I'm saying? With the question marks at the health position on the offensive line. Linebacker and of course safety. This isn't Madden, man. I can't reiterate this enough. This isn't Madden. The Kansas City Chiefs last year didn't have a wide receiver one. If you think Juju's a wide receiver one, then he's not. They did not have a wide receiver one. They didn't even have a running back one, and they won the Super Bowl. I don't know what other proof you need to know that it's a team sport, not a big name sport, right? And as long as you have the quarterback right, you can go ahead and do a lot. You can do a lot with other weapons. And I get it. Some are going to say like Travis Kelce. Got it. Okay, who else? Mahomes and Kelce on offense. Okay, who else? I'll wait.
Right. I mean, it's
okay. Kelce is that was it. We have Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
With Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball now. Okay, what do you like? That's not an argument. Every time I say it, somebody brings up Kelce, and I'm like, okay, I said wide receiver. I didn't say they didn't have an elite tight end. He didn't have a wide receiver one. He didn't have a running back one. The Jets have a wide receiver one. They have a running back one. And I would argue tight end at CJ Uzomah and freaking Conklin, they have a high ceiling. Like Conklin was one of our best performing tight ends last year with beyond mediocre freaking quarterback play and no offensive coordinator. So I think he's got a higher ceiling than what we saw from last year as well. I'm not saying he's Travis Kelce. Don't get it. He's not Travis Kelce, but very few people in the NFL could be. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I get people want to go ahead and throw big names because big names are exciting. You know what I'm saying? It's something to talk about. But in terms of needs for the Jets right now, yeah, nah, man. I'm at safety and I'm at linebacker as being legitimate needs for the Jets.
Yeah. But when you consider the amount that we played at, like a 2-5 type setup as far as linebacker, there's a lot of times where it's just really about Quincy and CJ anyway. But it would be great to just throw Quan in there, right? And he knows the system. We know he's a good coverage linebacker. That's how our defense is schemed. Why not? So that's the confusing thing for me is, why are we not just bringing Quan in. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. So that's why I think they're just crazy all in on Sherwood. They might just, they must be really high on him, or they're going to bring in Quan. You know,
I'm still shocked they haven't done it. And I see people in the chat like going back and forth. Me and Jeremy aren't saying like we're going to be like, oh my God, oh no, the Jets brought in D-Hop. Oh my God, oh no, the Jets brought in Dalvin Cook if they bring those guys in. No one is saying that. I'm simply saying like, I'm not going to be sad or upset that they don't bring them in if that happens to be the case. You want to go ahead and throw those guys into the fold. Okay, cool. Throw them into the fold. Again,
I think
they're not going to be.
I'm sorry. I would say
go ahead.
This is not anti Dalvin Cook. I'd be perfectly happy. It makes us a much deeper team. We get a proven guy. It's great for this year. I have no problem with us doing it. But like you said, I'm not going to be heartbroken if we don't. And then D-Hop, it's not that I don't want him or I don't think he's talented. I'm just being realistic. We're not signing D-Hop. And the reason I say that, we're not doing it because he doesn't fit into the mold of a Robert Saleh or a JD player. It's just that simple.
Facts. Simple as that. And not to mention, our coach already said, like, they weren't kicking the tires on that trade. Like, so the D-Hop thing, we can argue back and forth about it all we want to. And again, I'm not saying, like, we wouldn't welcome a D-Hop to the team, but he's not really an option. And I'm not butthurt that the Jets aren't considering him an option. That's the argument being made here.
Yeah, absolutely.
D-Hop.
What's up, GreenBean? Oh, this is wide receiver guy that used to play for the Cardinals that got cut, that the Jets fan base think he's still an elite number one and want to bring him on by any means necessary.
You don't think he's a number one?
No.
No?
Not at this age of his career. Because to me, again, and I get that, what he did last year, right? But people keep forgetting, man, like wide receivers and running backs, they were wide receivers, running backs, and cornerbacks are all positions, skill positions that require your elite athletic traits to do what you do. D-Hop has some of the biggest hands in as a wide receiver there is on the planet. So I know he can still catch the ball, and he has a pretty good route running trait. But in terms of, do you want him at this stage of his career or Garrett Wilson as your number one? I don't think anyone's going to argue that Garrett Wilson's ceiling is much higher.
I would say so too. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So for the Jets, I'm gonna go with Garrett Wilson. And is he coming here to be a number two, or is he gonna get upset if he doesn't get enough love, the ball thrown his way?
That's what I'm saying.
Featured, right? Like
you add him and Dalvin Cook, and they're both kind of relegated to part-time duty, and they're thinking their career's this and their name that. And next thing you know, we got a little bit of a rift, and then there's young players that looked up to D-Hop, and they're kind of little factions, little cliques.
Yeah.
And we don't have that right now. You know what I mean? And that's we have some strong guys on the team, though, whether it's, Quinnen Williams with CJ Mosley, Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. So there's a lot of strong guys, team type guys that maybe we can manage it. But again, a punk is a punk, and neither one of those guys are labeled as punks per se, but not exactly.
They don't really fit the Joe Douglas mold, if we want to just call it that.
But neither did OBJ, Gunny.
And they were in on him. This is true. This is very true. And they were in on him.
And Hill, Tyreek Hill. GreenBean Ali is in the chat, just
Oh, Ali, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man, even though I don't, but Jeremy did. So hello. It's good to see Ali. I saw a post by Ali today. He was talking on Instagram. It's always good to see Ali chattering. Ali's got the gift. You know what I mean? Ali's a good dude.
Yeah.
So let's see this. Dano, I'm going to actually end this early. I got a major problem back there, man. Yeah. So it's like, all right, so there's water coming in and everything behind the wall. So we tarp the top. It's been raining for 3 days, so we're just seeing it. So it's really in the RV ceiling. I just looked and it's doing this. I said,
"Oh, what?"
So I went, and water just
poured out.
Like,
you.
I'm like, all right. So I've already ripped up the floor. The tile floor. There's still a subfloor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta fucking take care of shit.
Understood, brother. Understood.
Well, we'll do a few more minutes. We'll hang out, and I'm not just going to jump off, but I'm going to end it a little bit early tonight. Dano checking in. He says, how do you prioritize front-loading AR versus middling free agents? All right. So you mean his contract, I imagine. Jeremy, what do you think? How are we going to do this contract with Aaron Rodgers? How are we going to do that? So push his money up to this. I mean, we have 20-something million right now that Joe Douglas clearly is dying to spend. Fucking looking around at Dalvin Cook. But what do you think? I mean, so I take some of that money, whatever it is, put it into this year. But let me just add this to the whole thing, and then I'll hear your answer. Whatever's going on out there, can we just get Quinnen Williams signed already? Like, what is this baloney?
Facts, 100%.
Can we give the one guy on our team, the one guy who's our guy, can we please just extend him and stop giving money out to all these guys from around the league? Can we just pay our guy so I can get a damn jersey already?
That's something that every Jets fan can agree on. I don't think a single Jets fan is going to argue against that. There's no debate. Sign Quinnen Williams and do it yesterday. I don't understand what's taking so long.
Yeah, I don't like it. So, Jeremy, what do you think about that? And then I'm gonna bounce you off for a few minutes, Jeremy, just to kind of you know what, you can fucking hang out, man. I don't care. Good. I felt mean. I felt mean saying that because I love you, but it's like for whatever. Who cares? Jeremy, what do you think?
What do you want to do? I think that whatever money they're gonna have when they restructure Aaron Rodgers' deal, I would be shocked if they don't burn this first year as much as they could. So I don't think it means he's not going to make any moves. If there's a way to make the team better, we're an all-in chips up in the middle of the table type mode. So if there's an opportunity they believe to make the team better, when we get to that point of the season, where we're done, we're going to restructure Rodgers. I'd be shocked if we didn't put every cent of that money into this first year instead of waste it, because I have a feeling that we're going to have some dead money after Rodgers retires, in 25, 26, whatever it is. We're gonna feel some pain, and that was part of the deal when we got him.
That's why we got to get some rings out of this bitch, because if we don't, it's going to be a tough ride. So I don't know, Dano. I think yeah, I mean, look, I like Jeremy said, I think at some point too, we're gonna pay the piper. I mean, he's 1.6 on the cap this year or something like that. That's fool's gold, man. I mean, it's great for right now, but if you got this 25 million, dude, dump it in there. Give it to Quinn, give whatever Quinnen needs, take care of Quinnen, but take as much off the back end of this contract with this money that you can, in my opinion. Unless they really feel like they need additional pieces, which I don't know. I think at this point it's window dressing. But whatever, we'll see. I want to say Eddie McGuire has an interesting comment. OBJ is different. He is a team guy that's looked at as selfish. I have to say, Eddie, I don't know where you're getting that team guy thing. I mean, he's been unceremoniously jettisoned from two teams, and then he was on another team. He looked okay there, but then he tore his ACL. So it's like, I don't know where that would come from, that he's a team guy. I mean, teams literally get rid of him. And he's out there, he's acting the fool all over the place. I mean, did you see that shit with the flight? He held up that whole flight. He just wouldn't deal. He wouldn't cooperate. And then they had to unboard or disboard the whole flight. And then he told the whole flight as they were going out, because they were like, you're a douche. And he said, that's okay. I'm already talking to a private jet. You're the ones that are going to have to wait. I'm walking over to what is that? So I don't know where this kind of good guy team player thing comes from. He might not be as bad as maybe some people think, but I wouldn't call him a team guy, Eddie. I don't know where that comes from.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, again, two separate organizations. One that just gave him a multi-million-dollar contract, got rid of him, and the next one traded for him, took on that contract, gave a first-round picks and the whole thing, and then they got rid of him in the middle of the season. They just said, we don't want this guy here. You know what I mean? So I don't know what that is. And you can see it, too. He's, very, whatever. Anyway, okay. I don't know. From other players that love him like Aaron Rodgers, GreenBean. Aaron Rodgers never played with him. You don't know. What does Aaron Rodgers know? I mean, with all due respect, he might know. He might have had shared some champagne with him in the back room. That's all. I'm sure OBJ's fun back there. You know what I mean? So he's a good time. Again, I don't know. I'm just saying what I see. You know, the proof is in the pudding, man. And it's like when two teams want to get rid of you when you're as crazy talented as he is, that speaks, you know, rather than some guy, with all due respect to Aaron Rodgers, who's never played with him. So I don't know. Aaron Rodgers was just saying, I mean, in his words, he said, who wouldn't want to play with OBJ? Well, the two teams that got rid of him, that's who. You know, and the Rams didn't want him back. You know what I mean? Like they didn't, you know, I mean, granted the injury and all that stuff, but they weren't in line to sign him back. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, he did look like he was going to take over that Super Bowl, though, didn't he? Before he got injured, he
really did, though. He looked really, really good in that Super Bowl before he got injured.
Badass. Make no mistake, he's a badass. But yeah, that's the thing, though. If the Jets are willing to go for him, I don't know. I think they probably feel with Robert Saleh and all the kind of leaders we have on the team that they can add one or two prima donnas and maintain the culture that they have. I think it's playing with fire, but who knows? Maybe they're right. You know, you bring a guy into a situation that's strong and they're not going to buy into his bullshit. They sit him down and go, not here, kid. You know what I mean? If they do that, maybe, but if he goes into a place with a little bit of a weaker locker room, then it's a different story. And D-Hop too, it's not to say he's a bad guy. He's never been known. He doesn't have that rep as being a bad guy, but there are articles that I've seen that say he's not the best guy. He's not an all team guy. He's definitely about himself, and he definitely has a lot of impact with the younger players. That's what I've absorbed. So who knows? Maybe it's all wrong. I didn't say that about Aaron Rodgers. I said Aaron Rodgers was a douche. That's what I said. I didn't say, and I said in the beginning, look, when he was on the Packers, I'm rooting against him. I say he's an asshole. I hate everybody. You know how I am, Eddie. You know what I mean? If I was saying shit about Aaron Rodgers, it was never that he sucks. I'll tell you that, or that he's a divisive guy. I just called him a douche, that's the word on him. He looks different here. Looks like a great, fun-loving guy. All his teammates saying he looks refreshed. He looks like a new person. So that's all well and good. But, Aaron Rodgers is kind of known as a no-nonsense, tell you how it is kind of guy. But what do I know? Who knows? Who am I? Who the fuck am I, man? Let's see. What else we got in here? Our buddy Jason Edwards is in here. What's up, Jason? He says, let's play to the football gods. No more serious injury. Right. So, all right. We got the Chuck Clark thing. You guys talk about Chuck Clark at all while I was gone?
Nah, we didn't. We talked about bringing in Amos, but not Chuck Clark.
So last week we were speculating. We heard nothing for a long time. We heard a tweet and then we heard nothing. We were like, well, what's going on? We don't know if this is real or whatever. Well, we got confirmation. Was that today or yesterday? That he's done. So he tore his ACL. He's out for the season. So that's a tough one, man. Now you see we brought in Adrian Amos. We brought him in, which is a nice signing, even if he was still here. But it's nice now. Now we got to depend back on Jordan Whitehead, which the Jets look like they're prepared to do. Gunny, what do you think about this? Number one, are you disappointed? I'm sure you are, but you think Jordan Whitehead is, year two? Are you worried? Where do you stand on this one?
I think our safety room took a significant hit losing Chuck Clark. I know Amos is a big name, but last season was not very promising. He showed signs of decline. And if we can go ahead and argue about, Jalen Ramsey going to the Dolphins and we're not worried because he showed signs of decline last year, I think we can all agree we got to be real with ourselves. Amos showed signs of decline last year. So I think the loss of a Chuck Clark hurts us. That safety room is a little bit worse. Now, Jordan Whitehead, to me, it goes back to the whole Laken Tomlinson thing. I have a hard time believing that these guys just forgot how to play football. I really do. But with Whitehead, you saw a guy who was known for taking risks in Tampa, but he also made up for it with the big plays. There wasn't enough big plays from him last year to kind of overcome some of his defaults, some of his failures. So I'm hoping this season we see more of those big plays in order to kind of overcome some of the things we're going to naturally see from him, because that's just what he is. He's a risk taker. Sometimes he hits, sometimes he doesn't. But in terms of losing a Chuck Clark, a guy you can go ahead and play all over the field, somebody who is going to be a big benefit in the run game. I don't know, man. I don't think Amos is going to be able to do enough to overcome that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes out and he snaps back to 2021, 2020 form, right? But in terms of the loss of Chuck Clark, I think our safety room got worse. Even with the signing of Amos, it got worse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy he's here. I'm happy that we addressed it. We're not just now, we were concerned about the safety position while Chuck Clark was here. So, if we lost Chuck Clark and now we're relegated to just an undrafted free agent and then two undrafted free agents and, in Converse, Adams, and then we got Ashton Davis, I'd be freaking out a little bit. So I think it's nice that he's here. But, yeah, there are definitely question marks. So I'm disappointed. Man, crazy. Iron Man. That's 2 in 2 years, when Dwayne Brown comes here and then Chuck Clark. I don't know, man. We got to shake off this friggin' bugaboo.
Gotta figure that out.
This juju. We got negative juju floating around. I wonder if they've saged the place yet. You got to smudge one Jets drive. I should just talk to Woody. Like, dude, just shut the fucking doors and let me and a couple of people just hang out in here for tonight. I'll clean it out. All the negative vibes. I'll get it done in one night. I'll clean it. They'll come in and go, I don't know. It feels lighter in here. I'm telling you, I can do it, Woody. It's what I do, buddy.
Call that man. Call that man.
Right. This house is clear. That's me. Now I'm a little tiny lady. I get rid of the ghosts and shit. It's what I do, man. It's my gig. I'm doing it right now in my job. We got work to do, right? It's what we do. We got to clean it out. You got to get the positivity back. So I can do that. Woody, if you're out there, anybody who knows Woody, or whatever, get me in there. I just need the doors shut. Anybody, if they're going to hang out, they just got to be on the same vibe. They got to walk around with me and do the thing. They can't be like, what weird shit are you? You got to get out of here. Aaron Rodgers would do it with me, I bet. It's right up his alley, what I do. So I want to wish King Jamie the Mad a safe drive home. I see you driving home, buddy. It's raining here. It's been raining for 3 days. I don't know where you are. But safe travels, our friend. You got to do that. So I hope you drive nice and safely. I saw a comment, and then we'll do this thing. So Bernard Nixie says, do you all think it hurts Rodgers' career that he went to one Super Bowl? Well, it's an interesting thing. For much of the NFL history, one Super Bowl, especially when you add to it 4 MVPs, is enough. You know what I mean? Like you're one of the greats. But now in this day and age, with Tom, I think the Tom Brady, cheating Belichick Patriot thing, they kind of ruined it. It's like this idea that 6 and 7, 9 Super Bowls, 6 rings and everything. It's like that means you're great and everything else isn't that, you need 3 or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it taints him at all. Jeremy, what do you think? You think he's, does it hurt his career that he only went to one Super Bowl?
His career's not over yet. His career's not over yet.
There you go.
So, and the one thing I'll say is, it took Peyton Manning a long time to get his first Super Bowl. Right? It didn't happen right away, but and for a while it looked like he'd only get one. And also the 1 year he had a top 5 defense, he won the Super Bowl. So it takes a whole team. It's not just on the quarterback.
Yeah, and I like that too. It's like, don't forget, man, his career ain't over. And if he wins anything here, dude, it's rock solid. There's going to be an obelisk in Times Square, with Aaron Rodgers' head at the top. You'll see, man. It's going to be carved in stone. If he wins the Super Bowl here, it's going to be a whole different thing. Honestly, if Aaron Rodgers was to stay here, let's say 3 years. I'm in fantasy land. So he stays here 3 years. We get to 2 Super Bowls, right? And we're in the playoffs every, the other year and whatever. I think that's enough to almost push his Green Bay career to the back seat. Like if he comes to this franchise and does something like that here, honestly, man, I think it would be the biggest thing that ever happened in New York sports. Like it's unbelievable. It's like it harkens back to Messier and Keenan and everybody coming to the Rangers. The Rangers, they hadn't won shit since 1940. Everywhere that they played, they would hear chants 1940. Like that's what they. And then this guy comes here, Keenan, I think his name was, 1 year, and they win it all. And then he left. He's like, goodbye. He's like, what? So, hey, man, that was a big deal. I think this would be on a similar scale. So, all right, with that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I got to go do this this roof leak thing. It's weighing on me. I know my wife and my son are out there running around doing stuff. So I got to go. I got to rip off some walls, and I was supposed to go to bed in 10 minutes. But anyway, Jeremy, what do you got? You got anything coming up you want to tell anybody about?
Just the normal Wednesday nights, guys. Wednesday nights. We will continue to do the show at 10 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday nights. And it is now the Pride and Chaos show. So new name, new season, new name.
All right, there you go. Jets Chaos, Jet Lounge. You still Jet Lounge Chaos, right?
I shortened it to just Jets Lounge.
Okay, just Jets Lounge. You took off the chaos. You're not feeling so chaotic. All right, well, he's settling down. Jeremy's getting older. He's becoming a grown up. He's all grows up, everybody. Gunny, what do you got?
Yeah, you guys can catch me every Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? Here with the Thursday Think of It. You can catch me on Mondays as well, between 2 o'clock Central. Myself and the Flight Squad. We go ahead. It's myself, freaking DK, and Gino, Italy Jet, and talking Jets football. I got more videos in the process of coming out. Like, I'm getting back into the groove of it ever since Final Cut Pro came out with a iPad version. I'm realizing I can go ahead and edit some stuff while I'm at the office. So that helps me quite a bit in regards to time structuring. So you guys want to see some more videos dropping on my channel as well. So if you're not subscribed, I highly recommend you subscribe to Situation Report as soon as you can.
There it is, man. Hey, we can't have too much Gunny. So the more the better, buddy. And let's give these guys some support. Go over there and follow their channels. And don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Guys, I'll remind you, Jets Pod 121 is out, where we look at the number 21. There's a guy on the roster, and there's a guy of my past that we take a look at. But I also justify why 50 touchdowns is not only okay to say, it's realistic, and I think it's going to happen. I'll tell you why. I go back, I dissect it pretty extensively for you, so you might want to check that out. That's GreenBean Jets Pod episode 121. With that all said, I will wish you all a wonderful evening. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry we're cutting out early, but we'll see you next time.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby. I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.